Welcome back, everybody. So glad you could be with me here today. Walter, at the workbench with the final installment of the competition, that is, between the 4.5 jumbo smoothers. In the ring today, we have two heavyweights. We have the Lie-Nielsen weighing in at only 5.756 pounds, and the Clifton weighing in at 6.49 pounds. So these are two of the top three heaviest planes. The only other one was the Soba, which fell in between these two in weight. Price point wise, the Lie-Nielsen from American prices is slightly less expensive than the Clifton. But they are the two most expensive planes in the lineup. As far as features and design, they are very similar. Very, very similar. And we shall see. As we start with the Lie-Nielsen on the Cherry, which I have come through with the number 6 and reflattened it after the last two planes. So, we'll get some registration marks here. A little bit of oil. Back it up. No cut. Pulls and moves freely. I'm advancing slowly, starting to get a cut. And there we have a cut. Pretty much down the center. As to the mouth opening, it too is tight, very similar to all the others. All right. Now, as for tear out, I'm expecting it to be about the same. Got a little bit there, a little bit there. This nasty corner. Here, that's pretty bad there, there, and there, and here. And this is the back side. I'm doing this in reverse today for some reason. Doesn't matter. So we'll skew the plane. Take another cut. By the way, did I ever mention that I love the smell of American black cherry? It almost has a, and if you've never smelled pure carnauba wax, you wouldn't know, but it almost smells like carnauba wax or carnauba wax, however you pronounce it. By the way, if you don't want to have to work hard on getting rid of tear out marks, don't infill them with pencil. This one here has a little graphite in it. But that was an improvement. Okay. There's that side. So I hope you're having a good day. It's getting cool and damp here in Pennsylvania. And if you hadn't noticed, when I put my registration marks on, I lay the pencil down flat so I'm not digging a point in. Little things. All right, I just advanced it and it went too far. I think perhaps the top screw could use just a little bit more tension. Tell you that big footprint on these planes, if you don't have lubrication on it. Now why is this doing this? Probably operator error. Let's go with that. All right. Well, no. A few more registration marks are still there. There we go. All right. So, same tear out there, here, here, there. Let's see if we can. Tear out's getting a little bit better. So there was a comment on YouTube about using a smaller smoothing plane on projects, not a bigger one. And I can see the benefits of both. You've got a dining room tabletop. You got to have some footprint. If you're doing jewelry boxes, it's a little different. I want to go over this one more time. I advanced the cut ever so slightly. There we have it. That's about as smooth as we're going to get it. Still getting this tear out over here. Like I said, it's the wood. The only way that I could get this tear out free is if I put a back bevel on those. Sharpen it really, really well again and put a 5 or 10 degree back bevel on it. Now, on to the beach. This should go pretty quick. This side has this one problem area. Back it up slightly, advance it. When I'm done with the beach, I'm going to take a little bit of a look at the lever cap. Because so far, I have not had the lever cap loosen up. All right. That surface is glass smooth. Except for this end. All right. I don't expect any trouble down here. Beautiful. Woo. You could only feel that. Now, Into the bark inclusion we go, on a skew. There we are. That is smooth. So, that's the Lie-Nielsen 4.5. And as to the lever cap and why does it or does it not? Well, you know something? It does move. If you back up, trying to see where the cutting edge is. There it is. Okay. If you back up past what I call the working environment of the cutting edge, so just above the sole and just below the sole, you will move. Yep, it did move. So it too jockeyed. Now, on to the Clifton. And to be fair, we will get the number 6. Okay. I do that mainly on the cherry because it's a wide surface. And there's some tear out sections that I'm trying to deal with. Alrighty. Our British friend from the UK, the heaviest plane in the group. Tell you, it was quiet. Still have that tear out down here. Dealing with the pin knots there and there and there. But all in all, when you run your hand across it, it is smooth. Okay. Let's see if skewing it helps. The adjuster knob is a bit tight. Give it 1/8 of a turn. See if that helps. I didn't expect it to advance. There we are. Well, that's interesting. Mouth opening is about the same. This is torn out pretty bad here. Now I changed direction, so that could have something to do with it. Tear out's real bad there. Everything else is smooth. That section there. Let's see if Lie-Nielsen can do any better. I think we may be just down into a piece of really bad wood there. All right, that's side one. And we got a rainstorm going on outside. All right. right, that's right down the middle. So this time round, right out of the gate, I'm going askew, because we know this wood is going to tear out. Just know it. A little bit finer, maybe. A little better. She's still pulling herself to task. There I go again, calling it a she. I'm sure I'll get some hate mail for that. Alrighty. Need to get on to the beach. All right. Now, I find this interesting. This section in here did not tear out until I used the Clifton, and this area up here is all torn out. Finer cut maybe? Not so much worried about that. This should not have torn out. So, I wonder I have them all set up the same. One minute. I need to see something for my own curiosity. I need to see something for my own curiosity. I don't know if we're flat, straight, and true anymore. All right. Brought that down a little bit. Tear out's still there. That's better. I didn't understand what was happening there. Whoops. Little section right there. All right, gang. That tear out is still there. On to the other side. So, this just goes to show you no matter how big the dog is in the fight, it's how much fight there is in the dog. All right, that's all smooth. Now for the gnarly section, the bark inclusion. There you have it. Would I call that as smooth as the Lie-Nielsen? Very close. Very similar results, everybody. So here we had it. The battle of Lie-Nielsen versus Clifton in the great smoothing plane shootout. Which one won? As of right now, because of the challenges that I had with the Clifton, which I don't know why, it could be I messed up on the sharpening, or I could have the chip breaker set wrong, or it's some other minor anomaly. And just to be fair, I'd like to give the Lie-Nielsen a rematch on this side. To make sure I have the lever cap set properly. So I'm only advancing, no retracting. Come on, blade. Ah, there you are. All right. Just a tiny bit heavy on this side. Still just a tiny bit heavy on that side. And we have to remember too, that this plane came from Lie-Nielsen as a demo plane. I don't know if you can't see it, but that I've got that tear out darkened in. And it's slowly going away. All right, so if I keep planing with the Lie-Nielsen, I will make that go away. So before I do that, we'll come back with the Clifton. Once again, I'm going to retract it a little bit, reset, just like I did with the Lie-Nielsen. Okay. All right. It's a heavier cut. That's not fair. Maybe just a little more cut. Tear up mark is almost gone. And let's see. Best test is your fingers. All right, that's smooth now. That's smooth now. Whew! So we know. What did we learn here today? That even the slightest little change can affect performance. Do we got a tie, or do we have a clear winner? They're both beautiful planes. I'm going to come back and do one more video. I'm going to do my conclusion video tomorrow. And after that, it'll be clean up, polish up, and time to ship all of this back. So I hope you've been enjoying this. And I won't say too much now before my conclusion, but these are some nice planes, and we're learning stuff. And I'm not done with this jockeying phenomenon, but I think it might be something I didn't really notice it too much on the Clifton, but the Stanleys have that conical shape under the top of the screw, which might help. I don't know. That's a workout. Beautiful shavings. Look at that. In Beach, American Beach. So, like, subscribe, and share. Head out to your workshop and go make some shavings. Walter out.